breathe. And yes, it made it really hard to keep from falling to the floor beneath my shaky knees. "Fisher." I found a tiny voice to speak one word as my body teetered to the side, my whole forearm resting on the frame as my other hand claimed a large handful of his hair, and my knees bowed inward. It was wrong. I knew it. I just didn't have the mental or emotional capacity to stop it. A prime example of why giving in to temptation was a bad idea. There were points of no return, and I had breezed past mine the second he opened his front door. Fisher was unrelenting and hungry. He seemed famished. Then he seemed impatient, ripping my panties down my legs. I released his hair and reached for them, as if they were my last line of defense, even if they weren't covering anything whatsoever at that point. Did keeping one item of clothing on make it less wrong? Oops, I didn't even remove my panties. He accidentally tripped and his mouth just landed there. Fisher's hands guided my legs to spread wider before he resumed his oral navigation and, in general, driving me to the edge of passing out or using really bad words. "This is so wrong," I mumbled. In the next breath, he was gone. Well, his mouth was gone. Fisher stood and chuckled, resting his hands on my hips to guide me backward to his bed while he kissed my neck. "Do you want to stop?" The back of my knees hit the bed and I plunked onto my butt. "We can stop right now." Resting back on my elbows, I shook my head. "I just don't want it to be wrong." "Well," he twisted his lips. "Sorry. I can make it good, but I can't make it right in your head." I bit my lip and searched for the right words. "I want it like last night." He squinted one eye. "No fucking way." Swallowing, I frowned. "I want to feel like we're having sex, even if you won't actually have it with me. I want it like last night, or more," I said, with defeat to my voice. At that point, I was already dirty. Would finishing the job before taking a spiritual shower really have made that much of a difference? "Despite you being naked on my bed, despite you incessantly wetting your lips while staring at my erection." Busted. I cut my gaze straight to his, grinning with admission that he caught me gawking at his tented shorts. "I'm not taking your virginity. I had a little talk with myself about it, and me and my moderately well-honed conscience, decided to pass on the offer. I don't feel worthy of it." "Worthy of it?" I coughed a laugh. "You mean to tell me you've never taken someone's virginity?" "I didn't say that." He grabbed my leg, forcing me onto my back while he brought my foot to his mouth and kissed the pad of my big toe. "Why? You can't say that and not have an explanation. Why was it okay then?" "Because it wasn't some crowned jewel. It wasn't a prized possession. There was no hesitation, no chanting, 'This is so wrong.'" I frowned. "I can't give it back, Reese. If or when you have second thoughts or regret, I can't give it back to you." "So you'd rather borrow someone's used sanitary napkin?" Dropping my foot to the bed, he ran a hand through his hair. What?" I sat up and crisscrossed my legs, covering my breasts in my cupped hands. "My grandma used to say that not having your virginity to give your husband was like borrowing someone's used sanitary napkin on your wedding night." Fisher blinked slowly for several silent seconds. I don't even know how to respond to that. Were you raised in a cult? What the fuck? Who says that?" I winced, feeling a little defensive. It wasn't that I believed my grandma, but I didn't like him insinuating that she was crazy or some cult member. "Listen." He sighed and took a seat next to me on the bed, with his legs dangling off the end. "I haven't walked in your shoes, so I don't know what's been planted into your brain. I liked what just happened in the doorway. It's that simple for me. I liked it. I'd like to do it again. And I don't want to feel guilty for being a consenting adult with you. My opinion should mean nothing to you. So while I'd like to tell you to spend more time touching yourself than worrying about going to hell, it's not my place." After letting his words resonate for a moment, I released my breasts and stood on my knees, swinging one leg over his lap. "Fisher." I laced my fingers together behind his neck while